Yo, what's good guys, Villain is here, back with another video. Let me ask y'all a question. Have you ever felt stuck when making a gaming thumbnail, or have wondered how to improve? I assume your answer to the second question at least would be a yes if you clicked on this video. So without any further delay, here are 3 tips to improve your gaming thumbnails. The first tip I can give is whether you have a headshot or a character render, it would be to have them take up more space in the thumbnail. Here in this first example, this render of Sage is quite small and doesn't take up a lot of space. The character or person involved is obviously very important to the thumbnail and overall video, especially if the game in question is a character-oriented game such as Valorant, Overwatch, or literally any fighting game ever. Another thing to keep in mind is that the thumbnails will be considerably shrunk when a potential viewer is looking at your video. So if your headshot or render is already small when viewing in Photoshop, it'll be quite hard to make them out once the thumbnail is up on YouTube. So make sure that your characters and headshots take up space. The second tip I can give would be to improve your color grading.
What do you mean by that?
That was a pretty vague tip, so I'm going to split it into 2 specific parts: contrast and vibrance. Contrast is linked to the first tip as it pertains to making sure your headshot or character stands out from the background. In this example here, both the renders and the background are very bright and vibrant, which results in both of them fighting for attention. This results also in the viewer not being able to discern what is the focus of the thumbnail, making it less clickable. Your thumbnails need a focus point to grab the viewer's attention and get them to click on the video. Something I do with my backgrounds personally is actually make them more washed out, along with adding a Gaussian blur and vignetting to help the foreground stand out more and give more contrast to the overall thumbnail. The second part of this, vibrance, mainly entails utilizing Camera Raw filter to color correct any character renders or headshots you have in the thumbnail. Which, if you weren't already using Camera Raw filter already, come on bruh, tighten up. Color correction is a huge part of design in general, but especially thumbnail design, as catching the viewer's eye is paramount to getting clicks and views on your videos. If your render or headshot is washed out or low quality, viewers will not be enticed in the slightest by the thumbnail. Extra tip before moving on to the third main one would be to make sure your render or headshot has a pose or reaction fitting the theme of the video, as it will help convey the general story of the video and general theme. An example I can use is the thumbnail for my Exert Hitboxes video on my gaming channel. Shameless self-promo by the way. As here we have a render of Slayer posed like he's thinking, along with the word interesting and 2 images of suspicious hitboxes from the game itself. Alright, so the biggest tip I can give when it comes to gaming thumbnails is to utilize 3D models and rendering. Only sticking to PNG renders from games is quite limiting, especially if renders are hard to come by for your game of choice, or they don't convey the message you want to send with the thumbnail. If you have access to Blender and software to view and extract game files such as UModel or FModel, which are all free, that's amazing. You can also join Discords for your game of choice for .blend files of models. Once you get your hands on a 3D software like Blender, Cinema 4D, and models from your game or games of choice, your next step will be to either clean up and prep the model for posing, or if you have a completed model, you can go straight to the posing. If you rip PSK files, you'll need to merge the meshes and armatures together, which I go over in detail in my UModel to Blender guide, which will be in the card above. After this, you will need to set up texture nodes if they aren't already taken care of, because why would you use just a grayed out model? If you have a completed .blend file you downloaded, then you can skip all this and go straight into posing, and I'll let footage of both examples roll. Alright, so with those big 3 tips along with the extra one, plus practice and adding your own flair and style to the thumbnails, you, yes you, can make killer gaming thumbnails. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is Villainous signing off. Peace!